All right, guys, how y'all doing tonight? We have got a great show lined up for y'all.
If you give me 2 hours, actually, I'm just kidding. If you just give me
What
45
was that?
seconds.
Was that
That's
your
our
TV?
commercial on our YouTube page.
Oh, what's?
Goodness.
He's trying to watch a YouTube too.
My daughter was watching some Barbie YouTube thing, and I didn't know because she had the volume all the way up.
Oh man, what a great start! I was like, "Who is this?" Oh man, you always got to have something going on. That's funny. But
I was just like, "What in the world is going on right now?"
Oh man, guys, we got a good show lined up for you. We've been wanting to do a show kind of like this for a while, getting some of the local guys, and we've done that with last weekend show with Jonathan and Rodney winning our first OneObjective Pro's Choice tournament. And we got another big show lined up for you guys tonight. And this is to kind of go along with Heroes on the Water. It does go along with Heroes on the Water. And the winners of Heroes on the Water that Brandon Overstreet and Casey helped put this tournament together. And I know there was a few other hands, Scott Harrell. I can't think of everybody right off the top of my head. And I'm sorry, guys, if I mess that up. But it was a lot that went into this. And me and James really wanted to make it, couldn't make it. Just so much going on with family stuff this time of the year, and just wasn't able to make it. And really regret not being able to go. But we'll have the winners on, and then we're also going to have Brandon Overstreet on next. He's like I said, he's the one who helped put a lot of this together, and we're really excited to see what he has to say, and what the future holds with them doing more events just like that. So let me adjust this camera a little bit. I'm sorry, it's kind of bugged me. It's off a little bit on my computer, but OCD kicking in. But anyways, want to start off. Want to thank our sponsors. We got some really great sponsors. They've really helped us out with this year with the show, and I know we're gonna kind of going into the end of this year. We're getting close, and I'm hoping that we can keep all that we have now and hopefully gain some more. But I mean, if y'all haven't checked out any of our sponsors, there's a link on the bottom of our YouTube, down in the not the comments, but like description of the video. With links to all our sponsors, so please go check them out, give them some support, and see all they have to offer. Because I'm gonna tell you what, everyone that sponsors is a great company, and I mean they make really great products, and most of y'all have probably already heard of them. So, but please just go check out what they got, and like I say, go support them. Me and James got our hats together. We haven't got one yet, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is not as good as a picture I wanted to put up. I wanted to put the other one up, but I'll get it up on the next show. This is our new hats that we've come out with. We talked about it in the last show. And so we're going to go ahead and have those up on the site. I've been talking with our people with their website. Hopefully we'll have them up tomorrow, day after tomorrow, something like that. I'm not real sure. James, when did you say our new hats are going to be coming in?
It'll probably be a week or two. We actually sold out. Well, we're pretty much sold out of all of our hats that we have like that in stock. We have a different hat that'll be coming out, and it'll be a heather gray with the black mesh. So it'll be a little bit lighter gray. It's a really cool hat. It's still a Richardson 112. So stay tuned for that one. I think that'll be a really, really cool hat to see.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry I didn't give you the proper introduction on this show, James. I was so frazzled-brained by what happened at the beginning of the show that I didn't give you the proper introduction. Guys, y'all know me as Josh Carter, but this is also James Bush. Let's go ahead and go to your picture here. Boom, right there in the corner. That's Mr. James Bush. We're working on our Skype feed, so that is my mission this weekend. I promise you guys to get Skype going to either help hopefully clear up some of the issues we've been having with some people talking about sound. We don't get a lot of it, but here and there has been some comments. So hoping to clear that up. But hopefully get James's beautiful little mug down there in the corner so we can kind of talk to each other and see each other. And I can keep an eye on James, see what he's doing. But James, how you been, man?
You don't want to know what I'm doing.
Probably not. Oh, man. So was you able to get out do any fishing this weekend, James? I can't remember what you said. I know we've talked, but I can't remember if you were able to get out.
No, I was out on the water. I didn't get to do any fishing. I finally put my boat in the water this weekend, and I had it on charge pretty much all year because I didn't use it a whole lot. And, well, put it in the water. By the time I got from my house to the boat ramp, batteries were completely dead. So ended up having to buy 3 batteries this weekend to put in the boat. So after that, I was able to get up and run it and, test everything out. My kids, they want to go out in the big boat for the end of the year, so I got to do it pretty quick. So
that's right.
What
was that?
I can't wait to take them out.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing I do miss about mine is they will just kind of load the kids up and go. And I'm going to probably be in the market soon looking, maybe not a new boat, but something just I can go out and do some bass fishing in. And I love my kayak. Don't get me wrong. There's sometimes you just want to kind of get up and run and go fish a couple other tournaments as well. So, but I'm glad to see that you was able to get that back up and going. I know you had a lower unit issue a while back, and you was able to get that fixed, and you're ready to get up and going. So we're going to try to get you up here this weekend and fish that tournament for Pro's Choice. But the weather's just looking like crap. I mean, just teetotal crap for this weekend. So I'm hoping that they change that a little bit. For one, I got my son's football game this weekend, and then also getting this tournament going and all that. But James, we're gonna get you up here, and we're gonna fish one of these things sooner or later.
Oh, we are. I mean, as much money as I spent in batteries in a lower unit, I could have bought 2 kayaks probably. But
yeah.
We're good to go now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now you got to sell that kayak that
Golly.
you won, make up for the money.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd cover it all.
But guys, kind of getting back to what our show is going to be like today, we got Robert Clements and Zach, and I'm going to tell you what, Zach, please let me know if I butcher your name terribly wrong when you come on tonight. If you're listening now, if you're not, anybody else that's listening that know him, please tell me if I butcher his last name up. But Zach Obenchain, Obenchain, Obenchain. I think I said that right. I'm not real good with names, reading in general, much less reading names.
Yeah, he's a hillbilly. Yeah, I'm a hillbilly too, so we can spell very well.
Yeah, our Grammarly. If you go through and read our if you go through and read our iTunes reviews, there's somebody here talking about our Grammarly. Our Grammarly is not great. I'm like, really? We 2 hillbillies on a fishing show, and you worried about Grammarly? But anyways, that's funny. So if y'all are listening, you'd like to give us a review on iTunes, please feel free and give us a rating. Hopefully it ain't too bad, and please don't comment on our Grammarly. But anyways, let's get away from that one. But yeah, we got the Heroes on the Water. Robert Clements and Zach Obenchain, they won the Heroes on the Water event with the Pro and the Hero. Congratulations to you guys. Also, we was going to try to get Casey on, but Casey is down in Louisiana, I think, for the Toledo Bend tournament, Texas or Louisiana. I can't remember where it's at now, but getting ready for the championship for the top. I think it's a 100 in the KBF. So,
yep, top 100. Yep.
Yeah. Wish you luck, man. I hope you hammer him. I talked to him a little bit yesterday and said he's found a couple decent fish, I think. So we're pulling for you, buddy. Hope you do good there, and hope everybody's safe down there. It's fishing it right now. But we couldn't get him on because, like I say, he's doing that, and we're going to get Brandon on. We're going to talk about Brandon and why he put this event together and what it means to him. But to also, let me make sure I ain't got them on because I told him to call in here just a little bit. Oh, yeah, we actually do got one calling in. Let me go ahead and grab him. Hey, buddy, you got us. Is this Robert or is this Zach?
This is Robert.
Hey, Robert, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing fine. How about y'all tonight?
Oh,
Good.
Not too bad, but I appreciate you calling in. Zach said he's going to try to call in tonight. He said he was just depends on his work and everything going on. So we'll kind of keep an eye on the phone lines here and just see if he calls in. But Robert, first off, I want to thank you for coming on, and also want to congratulate you on your win at the Pro-Am Heroes on the Water Pro-Am event.
Yeah, that was a good tournament. I mean, I think the Heroes on the Water were the real winners of that whole event. We just happened to just show up for the main event. To say that.
Yeah. We got Zach calling in real quick. Let me grab Zach so I can have both you guys on the line. We can talk about this. Hey, Zach, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Man, I appreciate you calling in. We got Robert on the other line. I got both of y'all on at the same time. So I just told him just a minute ago, I want to congratulate both of y'all on your win. And I'm going to kind of get into talking about y'all's experience and what y'all think about the Heroes on the Water event. And I'm going to kind of ask one the question, and then the next, I'll ask the next one the same question, just to kind of keep from over talking, because the way this is set up, it's easy to over talk each other. So just kind of bear with us on that. But
okay.
Zach, I know you're at work. If you have to get off, just to let us know, bud. Just step in and say, "Hey guys, I got to go." But
all right.
But anyways, guys, I'm gonna start off with Zach, and then it'll go. To you, Zach, and then it'll go over to Robert. But kind of tell us a little bit about Heroes on the Water and what you thought about the event, and kind of going into it.
Well, I really wasn't sure what to expect. I know John, Athena, we're friends. My wife and I, and he organized it, and he kind of told my wife. He said, "Hey, by the way, if Zach's not working, he's coming to this event." And she told me about it, which I had seen it on Facebook, and thought to myself, "Man, I need to go with John. I'd like to help out with this, being something towards veterans and everything." And then he said that he was including first responders into it. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm a very amateur, when it comes to fishing, and but I love being on the water, and having the opportunity to just go out and spend the day just out on the water, and just paddling around was great. And then getting paired up with Robert, I really learned a lot more that I didn't know about fishing, and it was a great time to get out and kind of relax and kind of clear my head quite a bit.
Yeah. And that's all. That's what. Just kind of talking to other guys that's fished the Heroes on the Water events and stuff like that, and talking about how it's so mind clearing just to get out. You're not worried about nothing else. You're having a good time chatting with some guys and just fishing. So, and tell us what do you do, Zach? Or was you in the military? Did you say you was a first responder?
No, sir. I wasn't in the military. I worked for the Roanoke City Fire Department.
Okay.
So I've been a firefighter for just short of 12 years. I've grown up in pretty much a public service family. My dad was a career firefighter and a volunteer. My uncle was a firefighter. My brother and some of my other uncles are in the service and have been in the service, various branches of the military.
Well, that's
so it's I've got a bunch of friends that've been military, but it seems like over the last several years, first responders have gotten kind of lumped in a way with the military service.
Yeah, and as they should, because we got the military that go over and fight overseas for us and do all that they do, but we also got you guys that are willing to run into a burning building, willing to save someone that they don't even know, or same with the police officers, same with EMTs, and the things that y'all have experience through y'all's career. It's not the job for everyone, by no means. So, and we do appreciate all that you do for the community with the firefighting and just everything that you do with that. So we really appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Robert, tell us a little bit about your experience going into this event. Was this your first one that you've ever fished a Heroes on the Water?
Heroes on the Water. Going into this event, I have to be like Zach. I really didn't know what to expect because I never really fished a team event with somebody out of a kayak. So it was a different experience.
Yeah. Have you won any? I don't know your stats on wins, but have you ever got any wins in any of the bigger kayak events and all that?
I won the Smith Mountain Lake tournament, the night tournament last year for the Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge.
Oh yeah.
I won it, and then I finished third in the KBS, which is held the same night that night.
Uh-huh.
I haven't won any of the KBF events except for that's the only KBF event that I finished the best in. But I was lucky enough this year I placed 62nd in the nation. So
oh, wow.
I was supposed to be down there fishing with Casey, but I didn't get to. Work kind of called me out before that did.
Yeah, I understand that.
Oh.
And that sucks too, buddy, because you fish your tail off to make that, and sometimes we qualified for national championship this year, but it would still work is in the question, with going. So, but yeah, that's kind of tough. So, but Robert, tell us a little bit about your day when y'all went out on the water, and Zach, you can kind of come in too, and just Brandon sent me some stats here. I want to go to it real quick about y'all's day on the water. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all only had 4 fish that day, right?
Yes, we only had 4 fish. I was teasing Casey right before the weigh-in and stuff before we did the thing because I had 88 inches or 87 1/4 inches worth of fish, which is more than what he had for his 5 fish. So I had to give him a little ribbon on that.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. As far as the day started, which everybody knows the water was real muddy or real cloudy up in the Blackwater side of the river. So I started with a black spinnerbait, and actually right there in front of the docks at Magnum Point Marina, caught that 20 and a half inch largemouth, and that's pretty much the way the day started, and we just went on from there.
Yeah. Now, Zach, was you able to add into this, or was you just kind of watching the show? Was you able to put some fish on the board?
I was able to get one with a little help. Like I said, I'm very amateur at it. Robert helped me out with the lures and the bait. Kind of guided me towards what type of lure. We ended up rigging up another pole for me, so I could switch between the two depending on how deep the water was and what he was seeing as far as where the fish were. Like I said, I really didn't know much about what I was doing, but Robert really helped me out, and I felt positive that by the end of the day I definitely had at least had a couple nibbles. I just wasn't able to actually hook, except for the one.
Yeah.
And that Robert helped me out on there, and like I said, going into it, I really didn't know. Didn't know much about what to look for, or really even how to reel the different lures. I didn't know that there was actually so much, depending on what type of lure you're using, as to how you want to reel it back in, and how slow or what kind of speed you want to keep. Kind of depending on the activity of the fish. Like I said, I really learned a lot, and I'm actually talking to my wife, trying to figure out a time I might could even just get back out of the water and try it again.
Yeah.
And maybe even really trying to get my son into it a little bit. He's always asked about it, but tends to get bored. And I've never really known enough about it to kind of guide him on what to do. So I think now I've got a good base that I can at least try and include him, and maybe even pass on a little bit to him and make it not so boring to him.
Yeah, and I understand that. Me and James both go through that with our kids, and they got a very short attention span, and if they're not catching fish right then, it kind of fades off, and it's tough, and it's a sport that you kind of got to grow and stay with, you know. And like my son, he's the same way. We fished a tournament a couple years ago, and it was actually crazy because we won that tournament. It was a small club event, and we started out, and I had him a drop shot, and he was just catching small fish off these docks, but they were keepers, and he was wearing me out. And, you know, then all of a sudden the crap talking starts. You know, Dad, I'm wearing you out, Dad. You know, on your fishing rod. I'm like, yeah, I got you, buddy. But once that bite dies off, then they lose it. You know what I mean? Then it's So, anyways, we started doing good and catching some decent fish and got them back into it a little bit. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I think that's what's so cool about this event is that you was able to get out there, you know, meet some new people and learn some new techniques that you can take home and pass on to your kids.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Robert, kind of going into it, did y'all have it where you could see the score tracker live when y'all were putting your fish in, or was you even paying any mind to it as the day was going on?
No, they actually had us just everything was written down on a scorecard, where I could only submit 3 fish, and the hero could submit up to 5 fish. So, like I said, if I didn't catch any fish and he caught 5, we could submit all 5 of his. But if I only caught 3 and he didn't catch any, we could only submit 3. So we didn't really know how anybody else was doing through the tournament. When we got off the water, I was just kind of asking around, and like I said, you could hear some of the bigger fish caught. I heard some 21s and stuff like that, but they were, a lot of them were in just the pro side of it. So we really didn't know what we were expecting to do, but it turned out really well for Zach and I.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad. I was looking at what Brandon sent me. Y'all had a 15, 20 and a half, a 18, and a 19 3/4. That's a very respectable bag right there. I mean, if y'all would have got another 15-inch fish, y'all would have dominated. But hey, man, sometimes that's all it takes. It just takes those 4 fish, and that's it.
Yeah, I like I said, I got 5 in the boat, and lost 2 others. I had one break me off, and a couple of them just got off on me. But it was real fun fishing with Zach. That was one thing going into this tournament. It was like, okay, well, how am I going to do this? And so I actually went down and pre-fished Thursday before the tournament just to see if I could find some places and just see how muddy the water was. And just so we could be on some fish, but I didn't fish any of the spots that I found on Thursday on Saturday.
Gotcha. So it was just kind of going in. Now, when they did the drawing, did you already know, like, the day before who you was going to be fishing with? And then, or was it kind of like you found out that morning?
I found out that morning who I was fishing with. And actually, they told me Zach wasn't coming. And then right there before the tournament started, they said he'll be here in about 30 minutes. So I went out there and just fished around a little bit, stayed right there around the docks, and waited for him to get there. Then we kind of just fished from the docks and went out from there.
Wow. So was that?
Yeah, I was actually a little late.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Zach. You're fine. Go ahead.
No, I was actually a little late getting down there because I was just coming off shift Saturday morning and didn't get out of the firehouse till about 7:30, and so by the time I got down there, everybody had kind of already taken off. So which I thought John knew that I was going to be late getting there. So we actually kind of got a little bit of a late start behind everybody else.
Yeah. You give everybody a head start, give them a chance.
Yeah.
But now, did that set up, like, say, did you stay with a spinnerbait the whole tournament, or did you have to? Because this time of the year could be a junk fishing tournament. You know, I mean, so did you stick with that spinnerbait, or did you had to change up a lot to finish up your limit?
I stayed with the spinnerbait all day, but that was the only real fish. I caught one other one, but he got off. But the one that I guess you say the bait that really caught the most fish was just a black trick worm on a shaky head. I caught more fish off of that in about 2 foot of water than I did anything.
What was the water temperature I was reading?
The water temperature I had was about 68 and a half, 69 degrees.
Wow. Yeah, it's dropping big time. And we put on a tournament the weekend before. I think Brandon shared it on that page for the Heroes on the Water. And it was some big fish. I mean, it took 17 pounds to get a check in 4th place. I mean, it was some big fish brought in. So me and James was talking about it. I was like, man, I bet you guys are going to hammer them just with the watercolor and the weather that was coming in and the water temperature. I was like, man, that's just going to be a slugfest. And it was. It was some big fish caught in y'all's tournament. Hello?
I know at least. I know I had the 20 and a half. Casey had a 21. I think the big fish for the Pro-Am was a 20 3/4. So yeah, that at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 fish over 20 inches long is real good for this time of year.
Yeah, that's a pretty good bag here, guys. James, you got any questions or anything? I didn't want to put you on the spot, but you got any questions for him or anything?
No, I just want to thank them for fishing and, getting people into the sport of fishing. And I think it's a great organization. I wish we could have fished it like you were saying, but we've been gone so much throughout the year, and I had to do some stuff this weekend, so
yeah.
So I wasn't able to make it, but hopefully next year I will be able to make it up there and be able to get on the water with you guys.
Yeah. Yep, most definitely. Brent, I know, Zach, you wasn't able to make it, but Robert, tell us a little bit about we'll ask you this question, then we'll probably let you get going because we know it's getting late, but tell us a little bit about the night before. Was you up there with the guys and the bonfire and the cookout and all that? Tell us a little bit about your experience with that.
I did not get to make it the night before, but I'm real good friends with, I guess you'd say, with Fulton Jones and Lauren Jones.
Mm-hmm.
They did a lot of the stuff for the restaurant and stuff. So they told me a lot of what was going on and stuff like that, and they said it was really, really nice. I mean, kind of just to give everybody a time to relax before the tournament.
Yeah. Everybody get to know each other and shoot the bull and talk fishing. So, well, guys,
that's right. There's
yeah. Well, guys, I really appreciate y'all coming on tonight. I know it was kind of short notice on it, but and I know with Zach, you're working and all that, so I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight. And Zach, I want to thank you for your services and all that you do, like I say again, for this community.
Well, absolutely. Like I said, I grew up in a family of public servants, and I guess as I grew up, it just it was in my blood, and I was led to it, and I don't think any of the guys that I worked with would do it if we didn't love what we did. But I appreciate it too. We don't hear that a lot, but when we do, it's very nice to hear. So I really appreciate that, and just to have a little something. I think my experience was great. I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed hanging out with Robert and getting to know him a little bit. And I really look forward to the event, hopefully growing even more next year. I think everything was well organized, and everybody that worked it and helped put it together, everybody seemed to do a really good job with it. So.
Well, that's awesome, guys. And like I said, we hope to see you guys there again next year. Robert, I appreciate you taking the time to coming up here and fishing with it as well. I think that's great for everybody that fished it and come in and helped out with the event. So appreciate you doing that too as well, man. And like I say, appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Well, like I said, it's actually the first time I've listened to the show. I just don't get on social media that much.
Yeah.
But it's a real pleasure to be with y'all tonight. Zach, it's great fishing with you. Don't forget, we still have that guided trip with Chase next year that we can go on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, y'all will love that. He'll put you on some big smallmouth and some big muskie, depending on the time you go. So y'all will enjoy that. But guys, I appreciate you calling in tonight. Y'all have a great week, and like I say, thank you for all y'all have done.
Yeah,
thank
absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
See y'all.
See ya.
All right. Well, that was a good interview. I think, like I said, them guys the firefighters, the EMTs, the police department, all them guys, it's like Zach said, they don't hear it a lot, and they should. And it kind of upsets you a little bit when you hear them say that, because everybody wants to bash, maybe not so much with the firefighters, but on the police department wise, everybody wants to bash them until they need them. So I really do appreciate everything that all our EMTs and firefighters and police department and also all our military's done. And that's just the great thing about this event, that it brings all of them people together, all that has helped and served in this country and for this country. And like I said, I really hate that we missed that event. And I can guarantee you next year, me and James will not miss that event. So
we've missed a lot with our families this year, so we hated to miss it, but
yeah, it just everything going on. It's kind of crazy, and this year too with football season with my son, and it's just I ain't gonna come with excuses why we missed it, but we definitely ain't gonna miss it next year. I don't plan on it anyways. Let me go ahead and text Brandon and tell him he can call in now, and then we'll talk to Brandon about the event. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I would just tell everybody, if they're listening, that they still send your pictures in of your big bass, because we'll be drawing for it next week.
Yep, and I'm sorry I didn't say that.
And we'll be giving a prize pack away. So the pictures that are scrolling across the top of your screen, keep sending your pictures in, and we'll put them up next week, and we'll draw the winner.
Yeah, so when's it? Let's see. I'm trying to think when the 30. So it'd be a Thursday. So yeah,
it's
one more show.
It's on a Wednesday.
Well,
yeah,
31st.
So do it.
Yeah, so we'll do the drawing on Thursday. So pick the winner. But yeah, make sure you get those in, guys. Also, if you're listening now, let me make sure Brandon ain't called in yet. Yeah, he's on the line right now. Hold on a minute, Brandon. If you haven't yet, make sure you get in on the chat. If you got any questions for Jason when it comes up, any questions for us, anything on the show, we're picking from a random winner. I mean, a random person on our chat. James will be picking. So right now we got a couple guys on here. We got 20 viewers right now. So let's see if we can get some of you guys in the chat. I think the chat is on the right-hand side where you can get into it and just come on, say hi, say whatever, so we can pick a random winner here shortly. All right, let me go ahead and get Brandon on. Hey, Brandon, you got us?
Yes, sir. How are y'all?
Oh, not too bad, bud. How you
doing, man?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it was like a clicking noise. I thought something hung up. But so how you been, Brandon? I know things are starting to kind of slow down. You know, coming from fishing the tournaments and helping getting things together with Casey for just the Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge, and then also getting things together for the Heroes on the Water event. I'm sure you probably got some time now where you can just sit back and breathe.
Yeah, it's really been a hectic year, and I'm kind of glad to kind of get some family time. You know, to a lot of us, you know, family time is huge, and our family sacrifices a lot with us tournament anglers, and we're gone all the time, whether we're just fishing or doing tournaments, and especially with this planning of the Heroes on the Water Pro-Am, it's taking up a lot of my family time. So they're definitely soaking it up now.
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't blame them one bit there. That's kind of like with our kids. It's kind of, now that we're home and don't have a lot going on, seems like there's a lot going on now. More than I thought it would have been.
Yep.
But talk to us a little bit, Brandon. What made you get into the Heroes on the Water and planning this event? What was what really pushed you into doing it, shall I say?
Well, it started. I started helping Casey with Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge, and that was mainly on the sponsor side. So I really started really liking that, and was really successful with that. And like we landed one of y'all's sponsors, Bonafide, and that was a huge deal for us. But we was getting close to the end of the year, and I talked to Chase Tanner about maybe helping out with his casting for recovery tournament, and some things didn't pan out for him. His schedule was crazy and he couldn't do it this year. So I kind of went to Casey and I said, hey, why don't we do a benefit tournament? And so he's like, well, if you want to head that up, that would be great. So I just kind of started searching more or less for a venue first, and Magnum Point Marina over on the lake, on Smith Mountain Lake, they had been so great to us for our regular season tournament. I was like, well, I really wanted to do it there. And I was kind of looking at the dates. We had our classic on the 6th, so really kind of wanted a couple weeks before, after that, and I started looking at October 20th. And then I noticed that Heroes on the Water already had an outing, that weekend there. And so I kind of contacted Mark Lewis. He heads up the Heroes on the Water, the Roanoke chapter, and just asked him first if we could sit down and talk. I had a couple ideas. So we met and we talked, and I kind of threw out the Pro-Am idea to him because, on a lot of their outings, they have a volunteer that goes with their hero, and it's a lot of interaction. And the volunteer is there to help them with fishing, or there to talk if that's what, something that they want to do. And so I was like, Pro-Am would be the route to go. So I kind of threw it out to Mark, and he really liked the idea. So we went ahead, and he got approved through Heroes on the Water to do that. But then I needed some help. So I got Scott Harrell. He's a veteran, and now he's a first responder. So I knew it was going to be close to his heart. And Steve Truslow, he's actual volunteer with Heroes on the Water out of Roanoke, and so I knew it was going to be close to his heart. And Jonathan Pingilly, he's a good friend of mine, and so all three of those guys, they stepped up and they was full on board, and we just started. First of all, we just started, gaining sponsors, and man, we gained 38 sponsors really quick, and it was so easy to, just say something to a sponsor about it, and they were full on board, and they were ready to do whatever we asked. So then I started talking more with Magnum, and really I wasn't asking Magnum Point to do a whole lot. Just let us have the venue there, and maybe help with some catering from Mission Barbecue. They gave us all the barbecue for the event, and I just kind of asked for a little bit of help. I didn't ask for much, and they gave us they done a big bonfire and concert on Friday night, and fed us dinner that night, fed us breakfast Saturday morning, packed everyone bag lunches, and served the barbecue that evening. And it's they rolled out the red carpet for us. So that was really nice. And I know you asked me kind of what it meant to me. I'm a veteran myself, so when I got out of the service, I guess I'd been out of the service for a couple years, and this guy, he used to hold some local tournaments here about 5 or 6 years ago, and I kind of entered my first tournament, and just more or less go hang out, and that was like the start of like really saving my life. Getting out there, getting away from the real world, just all the quietness, and so then I started fishing with Casey with his series a couple years ago, and it just at that time I kind of really got PTSD. It really started hitting me, and my life was in a down spiral, and done a lot of wrong things in my life. And I tell everybody all the time, kayaking saved my life. So this Heroes on the Water Pro-Am, it really, really, really hit close to my heart. So that was just something that I really wanted to do.
Well, that's awesome, man. And what branch did you serve in, Jason? I mean, Brandon. I'm sorry, I don't know why I called you Jason.
I was in the Army. I was stationed down at Fort Benning. I was in the infantry.
Oh, okay. Well, we appreciate your service.
Yep.
We really do. Me and
Yes,
James, and thank you for all you've done. And I know a lot of you guys
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I know a lot of you guys go. I work with a guy that's a veteran as well, and I know it's tough with the PTSD because it's not something you can just explain to the average person what you're going through. I don't know because I've never been through it. Just kind of talking with him, and you got to talk to people that are going through it. So, or people that are trained to help you out. So,
the crazy thing about it is, I've been suffering with it since 2006, and it got worse and worse and worse, and up until about last year, I went through some programs at church, and I was finally able to admit, that I had it, and it's still gut wrenching to admit it, but yeah, it's something that it's real hard to deal with.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's and it's awesome that you can have an event like this where it gets you out on the water, and like say it's quiet. It's it's peace and quiet. You ain't got all the hustle and bustle, and you ain't got all the everyday crap, shall I say, in life. You can forget about it for several hours, and I just think I think it's really awesome what Heroes on the Water has done. Just to even come up with the concept is just amazing, and then to be able to grow it to what it is now, and then have you guys that kind of step in and help guys in this chapter. And I know Scott, I think he helps with his chapter down that way too as well. I think it was him, and Shane Amos helps with Heroes on the Water as well down in that area. So it's just great to see all you guys come together, and that's something I've loved about the whole kayak side. I mean, in the bass boat side, we all do charity events, and they also have Heroes on the Water events with that as well. I think it's with Heroes on the Water. It's it's several events that go on that help get veterans and all that and first responders out on the water and fishing and away from life, for a little while. So I just think it's
like Yak Attack, they benefit heroes on the water, and actually, that was it was something that I kind of, I'm not going to say I copied it, but it had a lot of influence on their format and everything that they done. So I kind of twisted their format a little bit and turned it into a program,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, Yak Attack, we're already planning on going to that, and that's a big deal down there too.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We fished. Me and James fished that for the first time this year, and thought it was just, I don't know, it was just a great atmosphere. It was fun, kind of hanging out with everybody, talking, and it was Luther and them do a really good job with that as well. And people that are listening, we shared it earlier, and Yak Attack's starting to get everything together now. So January 13th, I think, is the sign up for that. So stay on your toes on that, because it goes quick. I mean, it don't take no time.
Yeah, you better set your reminder. It'll go in about 3 hours.
Yeah, and I think it was like they're going to do it at 7:00, so it goes quick. So just like Brandon said, set your reminder, because you don't want to miss out on it if you can, because they're only doing 200, I think.
Yeah, and anyone who's been to like 5 of them or past winners, they get first dibs the day before. So it might only be 100 slots.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, like I say, set your alarm for that. Make sure you get signed up for it. But Brandon, kind of talk about, you talked about the sponsors and getting everything together. Kind of talk to us about the night before, and how that event went. And I know y'all had a band playing and some food and just all that. How'd that night go?
Yeah, the night before. It was just like, all of us hanging out, the night before the tournament, and it was a lot of fellowship, and, we had a band out there and they were playing, and we had some good food, and, but it was mainly, everyone getting around talking, and, it was quite a few heroes there the night before camping, and we got to sit and talk to them and kind of hear about their life, and, they want to hear about our life, and how we fish, and wanting to learn a couple little fishing tricks and what we use and all that. So it was great to kind of sit back and talk with those guys and women too. I mean, I want to say that we had about 5 or 6. Actually, so we actually paired up a couple women on the teams, and I think we had 2 women pros, and they got paired up with some heroes, and so that was kind of cool to watch. And some guys come out that support some heroes organization, and they come out and they talked with us and played some music, and it was just a good time that night, kind of unwind and kind of let some stress out that night before the tournament. It was a good time.
So going into the event, was it kind of like how ours is? It's game time then, or is it still relaxed, everybody just having a good time, or was it you could tell that everybody's ready to go win this thing?
You had a couple guys that were competitive, but for the most part, man, it was just like we going out to pre-fish or something, and I tell you, the coolest thing I witnessed on the water is I seen a pro-am team. They were kind of struggling, and I was kind of off in a cove watching them, and another pro-am team come up, and they got to talking, and watch one pro from another team give another team the bait that they was catching them on.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I mean, where else you gonna see that, you know?
Yeah.
So that was cool, and it kind of encouraged me a little bit. So I was having a good day fishing, and I kind of found a good pattern thanks to James. The tournament he fished, I guess it was the week before the Angler's Choice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So James was telling me about everybody was drop shotting and they was holding tight to wood, and so I found that pretty quick, and so I went and kind of handed that off to a couple heroes, and sat there and watched one of them catch fish off my rod. And so yeah, man, it was just an event like that, you know. It was a lot of sharing. It was just a lot of fun, you know. It wasn't all that seriousness that we get a lot in the tournaments, and it was really cool to see our kayak community like that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
just
looking
more
through all
about people catching fish and learning and having a good time fishing, not really a tournament, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we didn't want, you know, and we set some rules to where, like, you know, like Robert was talking about earlier with the hero has to submit 2 or more. You know, if we just made it, you know, where it didn't really matter who caught the fish, you know, the pro, he could be gone, you know, and not really helping the hero. You know, I'm not saying that would have happened, but, you know, it could have happened. And, you know, like we made it where the hero didn't have to measure the fish. The pro could either hand them the board and help them take the picture, or they could hand the fish off. Just kind of, we made a lot of rules like that where they could encourage interaction and encourage more of a team atmosphere there. And, you know, I know a couple guys had kind of wondered about those rules, but, you know, that was kind of our thinking behind it, was just absolutely making sure the whole time, you know, it's an absolute team, you know, everyone works together. So
I think that's awesome. I think that right there I think that was a perfect way to do it, because like you said, you ain't got one guy that's just a great stick just going and dominating and not showing the hero how to fish, you know what I mean? So it requires some teamwork. So
yep.
I think that was really awesome. Brandon, I was gonna kind of go in and talk a little bit about was there anything else you wanted to cover about the heroes on the water? James, was there any questions you wanted to ask him about that?
No, I just want to thank him for putting it all together, and like we've been saying, you know, next year I want to definitely try to make time to make it up there to that tournament. But thank you for all your service. I'm
going to come kidnap you if I have to, James.
I hear you.
Just throw him up in his enclosed and hook up to it and take him. He'll have all his gear in there. He'll be ready to go when he gets there.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm always ready.
That's right.
I didn't want to get
man, I appreciate that,
by my wife. She had one event she wanted me to go to, and it just happened to land on the same weekend as the Heroes on the Water tournament. So
sometimes you need to ask her, hey, what's more important? Okay, you need to get your priorities right.
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
just didn't want to come home and there was a hole dug for me in the middle of the yard.
Yeah, I worry about that all the time.
Or your clothes sitting in the yard, one of the two, you know. One's just as bad as the other.
I don't know if it's just as bad. I'd rather just have my clothes in the yard.
Oh, man. Now, Brandon, we do appreciate you on that. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge. what you think
Mm-hmm.
is. Have y'all started planning for next year, and do you have any sponsors coming in, or have y'all not really kind of got onto that yet? Just kind of getting some breathing time.
Well, I'm working on a couple sponsors right now. They really wasn't in position last year, and it's two big name sponsors. I don't really want to say who they are yet, but so we're in the negotiation process right now, and pretty much everyone from last year is coming back. We hadn't started, with the schedule or nothing because, Casey's a busy man this time of the year, so he's headed off to all the championships that he's going to, and I expect here in the next couple months we're, Casey get the schedule out for everyone and get ready for next year. I know, a lot of people's getting ready for national championship, so that's kind of, personally that's kind of on my mind. So most of my attention is focused to that now.
Yeah. Now, is this your first year making national championship, or have you been before?
I went last year. That Smith Mountain Lake tournament that Robert was talking about, I qualified through that one, and so yeah, I went last year, and it was a good time. I done well on day one, but day two, man, I struggled with that rain and wind.
Yeah, and I can see that. I mean, that's tough, especially in a kayak. It's bad enough in a bass boat. You get in a kayak with rain and wind, it just adds to the equation. So this is me and James's first year going to the national championship. What should we expect being rookies going to the national championship? I mean, is it kind of laid back, or is it crazy?
It's really, to me, it was laid back last year. I'm sure y'all pay attention to detail like I do, so you're not going in there, asking a bunch of questions that's already on the site, and so if you prepare yourself beforehand, when you get there, it's mainly just show up for the meetings and go fish. Really, it's not a lot of pressure. It's really good time. It's a great experience.
Yeah. Hey,
but like I said, just last year, man, I bet I spent 2-3 months, at least 3 or 4 nights a week, just going over fishing forums, going over maps, and just kind of finding some spots. So it takes a lot of preparation.
Yeah.
And now, we're looking at, I think it's 5 lakes that we got to choose from.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least they made it easier.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, guys. I have fallen asleep many a nights with the phone on my chest looking at maps. Like what lake do I want to fish? What looks better? But before we go too much further into that, real quick, James, you want to pick a random winner for our giveaway tonight through our chat? Pick a good one.
I think we will do Alvin. He is from Northern California.
Oh man, is that Alvin? I can't say his last name.
I didn't want to murder his.
You know what? I'm good at murder names, so I'm going to call you Alvin Kanakasteed. I don't know how to say that, dude. That's by far the hardest name right there. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but if you're listening, please send us your information and Facebook Live. I mean, not Facebook Live. Don't do it on Facebook Live. God, I'm sorry. On Facebook Messenger.
You were struggling just like you were with that name.
I swear, man, you get some of these names here. But anyways, through Facebook Messenger or Instagram, or you can email it to me at oneobjectivebf@gmail.com. I'm going to write your name down so we can get you. You want our prize pack? We'll send you a little tackle pack. Last week was Bass Cat Dave. We got his information, so I don't know if James has sent it out, but if not, it will be coming your way here soon. So, but anyways, Brandon, getting into this year and how everything went. You had a pretty good year. You had a fifth place this year or fourth place in points?
I was fifth. Yeah.
Yeah. So you had a really good year. I mean, nobody had a year like James did, you know. But they said I should throw in a bonus for butchering his name. I might have to. I might have to throw in a little extra in there. But kind of tell us a little bit how your year went and what was kind of like the turning point for your year. You know, like when everything started working out right and you started coming on up in points. And what event was that kind of your turning point?
Well, so really, you know, last year I fished pretty much every tournament, and that year I'd finished 7th in Angler of the Year, and I really wasn't happy because, you know, there was a couple tournaments that, you know, either I caught one fish or didn't catch none at all. And you know, you was talking about turning points, and at the beginning of the year I set 3 goals, and them goals were, you know, win a tournament, finish top 5, and make it to the national championship. And I kind of you know, sat there and kind of thought, you know, everything that I needed to do to make all that happen. And last year I made a huge mistake of, you know, going on these fishing forums and reading what everyone's using, and, you know, and going to the tackle store and getting that exact lure, something I ain't never used, and going to tournament day and throwing that thing all day long and not catching nothing. You know, and I didn't really have no confidence in it because, you know, I didn't really even know how to fish it.
Yeah.
And so then this year, you know, my confidence bait personally is a fluke. I absolutely love throwing a fluke. And so starting out the year, I went to Chesden, and I was going to expect to fish lilies, and it won't no lilies yet. So
yeah,
man, that threw off my whole game. I was actually fishing with Robert Clements, and we paddled out there, and we didn't see no lilies, so we was totally lost, man. And we struggled that day, and then luckily after that, you know, I started catching limits, and that was a big thing for me. Was every tournament, you know, I went into it, I wanted to catch a limit quick, and then I didn't care if they were all dinks. You know, I wanted my limit. If that's how the cards fail, then that's how they fail. But you know, then I start upgrading, and so really that was the turning point for me. Is to where, you know, I just throw my confidence baits, and you know, the fluke and Texas rig. I love the Texas rig, and so then we got to the New River, which, well, before that, you know, we had the James River, and y'all crushed it there, so I didn't have no chance there. But you know, I got to the New River, and you know, I guess it was blown out, but the week or two before that, it was flooded pretty bad, and so I've been kind of listening to guys and kind of going back to the old habit, to where I was kind of taking other people's advice and letting them kind of get in my head. You know, they was trying to tell me what to throw, and so the night before the tournament, I was all stressed out. I didn't know what I was going to do, and my wife, she kind of talked some sense into me, and you know, she said just go out there and have fun, and you know, throw what I wanted to, not what everyone else was telling me to. So the water was real dirty, and I went out there, and I'd planned on throwing a spinnerbait, but I had a whopper flopper tied on. And I was like, well, I kind of planned on that whopper flopper anyway. So I started casting a whopper flopper, and man, that whole day, it was like every other cast I was catching one. And so I ended up winning that tournament. and that really helped me out in the points. And because at that time, man, I was probably 8th or 9th, and I was needing the top 5 to qualify for a national championship. And like the next couple tournaments, I think I got a check somewhere else, and a lot of top 10s throughout the year. And so really, the Chickahominy, I think I needed, the way I figured it up, I needed to finish, I think it was like 7th or something like that. And I think I got a 6th at Chickahominy. And so that secured my top 5 and qualified for the national championship, so all my goals were set then. So my biggest, takeaway from the whole season is, stick with what you're confident in. Don't listen to everyone else.
Yeah. Don't listen to doc talk. And that's something that me and James learned years ago too. It just fishing regular bass boat tournaments was don't listen to doc talk, because we got caught up into that. We've had tournaments where we went and practiced and got on some good fish, and then all of a sudden, you hear guys talking, man, I was slaying them on a crankbait or something, then all of a sudden you're cranking. And you totally didn't do nothing that you practiced in where you was catching fish, and then you kind of change up and start catching fish again on what you was practicing with, and then sometimes it's too late to even recover from it. So that's great advice right there. Is if you listen to a lot of the pros that we have on the show and guys like Brandon and them, a lot of guys talk about throwing what you got confidence in, what baits you like, whether, and some of it's just the type of water you like to fish. So you got guys that come on that are river rats, we call them. They'll hit up that river, and that's where they're going to fish. Well, if you got a river coming in the lake or wherever, they're going to hit up that river and fish shallow water. You also got guys that are deep water fishermen. They're going to find that deep water bite, and they might not win with it, but they're going to catch fish. So that's the biggest thing you can take away, especially getting into this fall fishing, is fish what you got confidence in, because that's key. If you ain't got confidence in nothing, you're not going to throw it. You're not going to fish it right. It's a whole tobacco to make for a bad day. So, yeah. So that's great advice. I do want to look.
Another big thing that really helped me this year too was last year. If I won't get in a bite, I just pretty much what they say, throw the tackle box at them. And this year I tie up 3 or 4 rods, and that's what I'd fish all day long. I would not go in my tackle box.
Yeah.
If I had anything that I had in my tackle box, or I got a little Plano box that I carry with me on the kayak. It's got 4 Planos in it. Anything that's in there has to do with what I'm fishing. Whether it's a couple extra walk blockers or hooks or what have you. That's what I'm gonna throw all day, and I'm gonna stick with it. I think in the years past, fishing tournaments is when you're throwing that whole tackle box, you're spending half the day tying.
Yep.
So the more you keep that bait in the water, the more you're going to get bit.
Exactly. I do want to let you know that good finish that you had at Chickahominy bumped me out of the 5th place spot. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not going to throw any stones here. But.
I like you, Brandon, but that kind of sucked. That's all I'm going to say.
I think we were separated by half a point?
Yeah, it was crazy.
I don't think it was a half a point.
Yeah, it might have been 0.4. I think it was.
James was doing the points. We were trying to figure out, where everybody was at, and James was figuring points, and he said, "Man, I think Brandon got you." I'm like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I think he got you." I said, "By how much?" He's like, "It ain't even half a point." I'm like, "Are you kidding me, man?" I was happy for you. I mean, just see how you come along through the whole year and worked your way up the ladder there, chipping away at it, getting up there. It was awesome to see. And I kind of, going into this event, James knew in the Chickahominy, he knew where he needed to finish to win AOI. He knew where Dustin needed to be. And then I kind of had where I needed to be to kind of be top 5, and I thought I had it. And I'm like, man, I got it. And then the points come out. I'm like, are you kidding me, man?
Yeah. Yeah, when I done the math and sent it, I didn't have enough. I didn't want to just tell him over the phone or nothing. I just sent him a picture and texted to him after I done the points. I was like, dude, you didn't make it.
Hey, but at least you got qualified, right?
Yeah, that's all that matters, man.
Yeah.
It was it was a grind this year, to say the least. You know, just trying to fish.
Was. And I tell you what, you know, the competition that we had in Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge, man, it was tough. I mean, I'm talking, you know, last year there was a lot of places you catch a limit of, you know, 12-inch fish. You was either going to get a check or you was going to win it.
Yeah.
And this year, man, you had just like the Chickahominy. What somebody caught 92, 93 inches? It was.
Yeah, it was two bags. One of them was like 94, and one was 92, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because I had like 87 inches, and I got third place.
Yep.
And they beat me by a lot. It wasn't like a little bit.
Well, that was the first event we had where 90-some inches was brought in this year, right? Most of the time it took 80-some inches.
Yeah, I think Smith Mountain Lake was close.
Yeah. Well, James won
that
one.
Had some high 80s at the time.
Yeah, because James
won
won
you
that
have
one.
there,
I can't remember. I think it was 70-some, 76 inches, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't. I don't think it was in the 80s yet. I mean,
it was in the 70s. It might have been in the 80s, but we definitely never broke 90 that I know of. There was a lot of big fish caught at the Chick.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fish caught over 20 inches at the Chick.
We was almost close to 90 at Shenandoah, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That boy, yeah. I think he caught 89 inches.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one. Me and James never.
Shenandoah is a good fishery.
Yeah. I had a good time.
You know,
I've seen some monsters in there.
I had a good time at that event. I just went into it wrong. I was fishing more for the smallmouth bite and didn't realize how good the largemouth bite was there. And then, you know, watching James right beside me catching big largemouth, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This big smallmouth's going to bite here soon. I know it. But there we go, getting caught up in something else that I probably should have made some changes earlier. But that was a beautiful river. I loved fishing that river. It just fished different than what I was expecting, shall I say. But it was a fun event.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever, you know, fished a actual river, you know, something that's not like Chickahominy, but something like we're used to. I've never fished a river where I've caught so many largemouths. You know, I was throwing a fluke up above that dam, and man, I think I caught anywhere from 25 to 30 largemouth that day.
Wow!
And it was just largemouth after largemouth, and I never caught a smallmouth all day.
Yeah, and it was weird because like where we were catching, where James was catching his largemouth was like smallmouth setup, you know, and you catch a bunch of dinks, little smallmouth. Right. That's what it kept catching was dink smallmouth. So yeah, that was a tough event, but you know, it's something me and James was talking about. Thanks, Mark Lewis, for tuning in, buddy. As I'd like to see bugs or gaston on the schedule, you know, mainly bugs. Gaston gets, if you go in like in summer months, it's just too crazy down there. It's too busy, but Bugs Island, man, I think would be a heck of a fishery because there's so many boat ramps. I would love to see Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge go to Bugs Island one time.
I can definitely push for it.
Yeah.
I used to fish. Some people call it cur. Yeah. But I used to fish cur on the North Carolina side, and you know, it's a good fishery over there too.
Yep, down in Nutbush and all that.
Yeah, I like that place.
Yeah, it's.
What's that?
That's down there in Nutbush. That's down there like in North Carolina side, and.
Yeah, Nutbush and like over towards Granville County.
Yep. Yeah, it's just I don't know. That lake always seems like it sets up the way a fishery should set up. You know, with points and. You know, you can run points all day long. We was in a bass boat. I know that's what me and James used to do. You'd run point, catching fish. You didn't have to fish all the other water. So I'd love to see go down there and Clarksville area and fish or wherever and fish that event. But other than that, Brandon, I want to congratulate you on your year, man. You've had a good year watching you come up, and then also congratulate you on putting together such a great event for the heroes. You did a really good job, and all that helped you with it. Thank y'all too as well. Everybody that's listening.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, but I was going to say, there's no way I could have done it without my assistant directors, and Scott and Jonathan and Steve. I mean, they helped me out a tremendous amount. So there's no way it could have been possible without them and Magnum Point Marina. They were absolutely very gracious to us.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. And thanks again for coming on, Brandon. We really appreciate it. And can't wait to see what the schedule holds for next year, and can't wait to get with you guys down at the National Championship.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. Have a blessed night.
All right.
You too, bud. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You too, man.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
I'll tell you what, that right there is one down-to-earth dude. I know every event that we fished, Brandon's always been very approachable and easy to talk to, and just good old country boy, and we really appreciate Brandon for all he's done, just this year with the Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge with Casey, and him and Casey has helped run a great event, good series. So keep up the good work, guys. Y'all are in the right direction to have a really good series. So James, I don't really have much more to add. I mean, we've had a good show. We've been an hour and 17 minutes in.
Yep.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah, I think we've had a really good show.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and throw that hat picture up there one more time. But yeah, it was a really good show, and looking forward to fishing more of those events next year. I think, we've talked. I think I'm gonna primarily focus on those events probably more than anything if I fish any events next year, and kind of stay away from nothing against towards KBF. I enjoy all that KBF's done. I just got to see what the series and schedule's like, but I enjoyed those, but it just seems like it was really fun doing the in-person events with all them guys, and just put more focus and time in that and have a good time with that. So, but James, you got any other things you'd like to say tonight before we, let everybody go?
No, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and please send your pictures in. So we'll do the drawing next week for the other prize pack that we're going to be giving away. So send them fish pictures in, and I just want to thank everybody who helped with the Heroes on the Water tournament that they did do it from Mountain Lake, all the sponsors and everything like that. It's a great cause, so we really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thanks again for everybody that tuned in tonight. And then Alvin, make sure you get us your information, buddy, so we can go ahead and get you. I'm butchering that guy's name. I'm sorry, man. I ain't normally like this. Well, I normally butcher names, but I can't get names right at all tonight. So, but oh man. Anyways, it's Tuesday. Leave me alone. But anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. If you can please share this video. Also, if y'all guys can help out with, just giving it a thumbs up. If you like the video, you like the show, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel, so anytime we put up a new video or new show, you'll get a notification. I'm working on getting this trailer video done. I had to get some stuff for the computer to be able to get some stuff straight to get that video done and up. So that will be up this week. It's just going to be a setup of my kayak trailer and how I ran it this year and organized it, if that's what you want to call it, and what plan on doing for next year. And then, James, you got your setup video you're wanting to do on your kayak. And so we got a couple of videos that's going to be coming out. We keep talking about it, but we're kind of running some snags here and there, but we plan on definitely getting them out here soon. So stay tuned on that, and then hopefully the website will be up and going here this week. Plan on getting I got a couple articles I want to get up that I've been really thinking about and And then we also want to get our hats up once they come back in. I don't think we're going to have enough to put back up on the site to sell. Might put them up there, but might just be, out of stock. So stay tuned for the new hats, and then we'll probably do a little judge and see which hat everybody likes, So do a little contest or something like that. But anyway, stay tuned for our next show, guys. We're going to pick another random winner. I want to thank all our sponsors that's helped out with the show, helping out with the giveaways, guys. Y'all mean everything to us. Really appreciate you. And like I say, please go hit them up. You can click on the links below, and it'll take you straight to their website and check out all that they have to offer, guys. Y'all have a great night, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Thank y'all. Bye.